Zarah Sultana's defection from the Labour Party following the Palestine Action vote last night is interesting. The consequences for Labour, I think, are fascinating. The potential for others like Diane Abbott to follow, and the possibility of a new party emerging that might rival or even exceed the membership of Reform UK is exciting. I think it's one of the most significant developments on the British left in years, and I think it's a bigger story than the rise of momentum. Zarah Sultana's resignation from the Labour Party and her plan to found a new party with Jeremy Corbyn is dynamite. It's not only a personal act of rebellion, but potentially the spark of a broader realignment that could fracture Labour's vote, complicate Keir Starmer's electoral calculus, and galvanise disaffected activists nationwide. Sultana, the MP for Coventry South, has been an outspoken critic of Labour's leadership under Keir Starmer. She lost the Labour whip last year after defying the party on the two-child benefit cap, voting to lift 400,000 children out of poverty. She has also been prominent in opposing the proscription of Palestine Action as a terrorist group, memorably declaring in the Commons yesterday, "We are all Palestine Action." And her resignation statement was blistering. She accused Labour of enabling managed decline and broken promises, and the government as being an active participant in genocide in Gaza. She described the next election as a choice between socialism or barbarism, echoing classic Marxist rhetoric, but also tapping into a sense of moral emergency among pro-Palestinian campaigners. And this wasn't some sort of backbencher's quiet departure. It was a declaration of war on Starmer's centrist project. And she announced she would co-lead the founding of a new party under Jeremy Corbyn. And though Corbyn's allies suggest no final deal is signed, the principle is clear. They want a formal political vehicle to challenge Labour from the left. And this would transform the existing independent alliance, a loose group of 5 MPs who beat Labour candidates in seats with large Muslim and pro-Palestinian electorates, into something more structured. If we consider the scale of this, if Sultana, Corbyn and their allies can organise a genuine party machine, they may quickly surpass Reform UK in sitting MPs. And in terms of membership, the potential is considerable. Labour's left-wing bias and base is demoralised. Activists have left in droves since Corbyn was removed, and many of them might join such a project out of both principle and protest. This could be a revival of the momentum populist surge. Is it just Sultana? I doubt it. There's John McDonnell, who expressed sadness at her departure and demanded Labour's leadership ask themselves why a talented young socialist felt she had no home. Diane Abbott has already lost the Labour whip. While she hasn't formally announced any move, the possibility of her joining a breakaway is high. Other MPs who voted against prescribing Palestine Action could follow. Starmer's heavy-handed discipline, his efforts to create what some see as an iron cage of centrism, may ultimately provoke the very split he wanted to avoid. Is this an existential threat to Labour? No, not yet. But it is a serious threat to Labour's electoral strategy. And Keir Starmer is banking on squeezing the Lib Dems and Reform UK, capturing centrist voters while taking Labour's traditional left flank for granted. But of course, as Labour itself fractures, the size of the opposition to the government becomes smaller. In other words, the number of MPs that the opposition needs to field gets smaller in order to be His Majesty's loyal opposition. This works heavily towards the Lib Dems. And if this new left-wing party attracts even 5 to 10% nationally, or concentrates its supports in seats with large Muslim populations and disaffected urban progressives, it could cost Labour dozens of marginal seats. We saw this dynamic in the 2024 general election, where independent pro-Palestine candidates unseated Labour MPs in places like Leicester South and Dewsbury and Batley. Some will say there's another Change UK, it'll collapse, but remember the SDP in the 1980s was very nearly a real contender. It took Margaret Thatcher herself deciding to save Labour, fearing the SDP Liberal alliance might destroy them both. Breakaways fail when they lack an organising principle. Sultana and Corbyn are offering one: anti-austerity, anti-war, unashamedly socialist, pro-Palestinian. In an age of anger over Gaza, poverty and inequality, they may find a receptive audience. This is not just about personalities, it's about the future of Britain's left. It's also about the attraction of the protest vote. Suddenly, with the Corbyn project, there is a second place to protest. A protest vote doesn't need to go to Reform UK, it could go to Corbyn's party. Will Labour under Starmer be able to hold its coalition together, or will it suffer the same fate as other big tent centre-left parties in Europe that try to stifle dissent and end up splitting apart? Zarah Sultana's defection is a symptom of a party at odds with its left wing. It may yet be the first step towards a new political force that reshapes the landscape, and yes, it could well have more MPs, members and activists than Reform UK. Whether it will last is another matter entirely, but for now it is the most intriguing development in British politics, and it's only one day in.